Next crop is wheat. It is a very important food grain in India and it is the staple food of millions of Indians, particularly in north and northwestern part of the country. So, wheat is the second most important food crop in the country after rice, both in area and production. It is rich in proteins, vitamins, and carbohydrates, and it provides a balanced diet. Wheat is a temperate crop. It is grown in the winter and harvested in March or April. Hence, it is a rabi crop. Wheat grows well on level plains, especially if the farming is mechanized. In India, it is mainly grown in flat alluvial plains of North India. Next is children, the types or varieties of wheat. So on the basis of geographical variations, meaning on the basis of difference in climatic conditions, on the basis of difference in soil conditions, rainfall conditions in different parts of the country, there are two varieties of wheat which are grown. The first is the normal bread variety, which grows well in the soil which is friable, loamy and clay in nature. So this kind of wheat is grown in Punjab, Haryana and UP. The second is the harder variety, the macaroni wheat, which is grown on the clayey black soil in areas of high rainfall. So it is mainly grown in Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Western Andhra Pradesh. Now let us see the geographical conditions which are required for the cultivation of wheat. So first the soil. The wheat grows well in well-drained, fertile, friable, loamy alluvial soils of clayey composition. So wheat generally is grown in Indo-Gangetic plains, which is very fertile. And every year, when the river floods, it brings a lot of fertile silts. So the soil is enriched every year. Then wheat is sown in the winter immediately after the rain because that time, the soil holds moisture. So it is easy to prepare the fields for sowing. The deep soil provides the much needed moisture to the wheat plants in the early stages. Wheat can also be grown in the black soil. Now, because the wheat plants use a lot of nutrients from the soil, so it requires a lot of fertilizers in order to supplement the deficiency. Next is the climatic requirements. So wheat is a crop of the temperate regions. So it requires a cool climate with moderate rainfall. Now the temperature which is required for its cultivation should range between 10 degrees centigrade to 15 degrees centigrade at the time of sowing. And as the time for harvesting approaches, it requires higher temperature of 20 to 25 degrees centigrade, which would help in ripening. But sudden rise of temperature is harmful, so there should be a gradual increase in temperature. So in India, the winter temperature of North India provides more favorable conditions for wheat. So in South India and Northeast, temperature conditions are above 20 degrees centigrade even in winter. Hence, wheat cannot be grown there. Next is the rainfall. So children, as I told you before also, you must remember how much the range of rainfall. So if you just write 50 centimeters, you will be given a 0. So you must, if you are asked about rainfall, then you must mention that the rainfall required should be between 50 to 100 centimeters. Now excessive rainfall is very harmful for the crop. So in areas where the rainfall is less than 50 centimeters, irrigation becomes essential. Now a little winter rain before ripening is ideal and it helps in increasing the yield. And children, this is what happens in case of Punjab. When Punjab receives rainfall from the western disturbances during the winter season, it is ideal and it helps in the growth of the plant. Then frost at flowering time and hailstorm at the time of ripening can cause heavy damage to the wheat crop. And you must understand that high temperature and excessive rainfall are harmful. The low temperature in October, November, and as I already told you, the rainfall brought about by western disturbances, they are helpful for the growth of wheat plants. Now next is the method of cultivation. So wheat is a rabi crop, thus the field is prepared by the end of October and crops are harvested in March or April. Since the sowing is done following the rainy season, there is enough moisture in the soil to help it grow in the early stages. Now children, the seeds are sown by the three methods which we have already discussed: broadcasting, dibbling and the drilling methods. So children, uh, wheat harvesting is generally done in March or April. So the harvesting is done by cutting the plants with a sickle close to the ground, as you can see in the picture. And in some areas, especially in Punjab, over there has been extensive mechanization, which means that machines are used for this purpose. So a machine which you must have heard of, which is called combine harvester or simply as combine, it is used. So these combines, they perform a number of functions together, hence they have been termed as the combine harvester. So apart from uh, reaping, they also help in threshing and winnowing. So that is why they are referred to as winnowing. So the second picture is that of a combine harvester. Now children, after the harvesting is done, in case the combines are not used, the next process which is used is called threshing. So threshing, it is a process that removes the seeds from the stalks and the husk. It is done so by beating the plant to make the seeds fall out, and this is how the process of threshing is done. The seed comes out. Alright, now the next is, after threshing, the wheat is winnowed and it is sifted. Now children, winnow means to blow through the grain in order to remove the outer covering. Okay children, now after threshing, the next process is winnowing. So children, winnow actually means to blow through the grain in order to remove the outer covering. So the outer covering is removed by the process of winnowing, as you can see in the picture. Now after this, the grain is stored in well-ventilated firm structure so that the grain does not get spoiled. And the next process is milling. So children, milling is a process that turns whole grains into flour, meaning the wheat grain, it is powdered in the wheat milling plants to make flour or atta, as it is called. Now children, the wheat plant is often affected by a number of diseases, and the most common is the fungal disease called rust. So in the recent times, the research work has been going on to protect the crop against these diseases and to produce such rust-resistant varieties of wheat. So other diseases which are harmful for wheat are the stripe rust or yellow rust, black point, loose smut. So a major problem which is faced by the farmers is that due to these diseases, the yield comes down, the productivity comes down. Now the problems of wheat cultivation. So children, this wheat plant is actually a very soil exhausting plant. So it breaks down the fertility of the soil because it draws a lot of nutrients. So children, wheat is actually a variety of grass. You must be knowing this. So it removes a lot of nutrients from the soil, so it reduces the fertility of the soil. Another thing is, sometimes due to unfavorable climatic conditions, unfavorable weather conditions like excessively high or low temperatures or drought conditions, they harm the wheat plant and they bring down the production. Then cloudy weather with high humidity, low temperature, These favor the fungal attack. Alright, that is, they favor the growth of the fungal disease called rust. So this is also very harmful of the crop, and ultimately it reduces the production. Alright children, now the last part of the lesson, that is the areas of wheat cultivation. So as you can see in this map, the areas which lead are mainly UP, Punjab, Haryana, and they are collectively referred to as the granary of India. So this is possible mainly because of the Green Revolution. So during the Green Revolution, if you remember, I had told all of you, high yielding variety seeds were used, there was proper use of chemical fertilizers, irrigation improved. So as a result of this, there was an increase in wheat production. So in order of production, the states are UP, Punjab, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Bihar, Gujarat and Maharashtra. Now, UP is the largest wheat producing state in the country, and it is grown in almost every part of the state, but especially the western part of UP, as you can see in the map, is more suitable because of the favorable climate. Now, the reasons why wheat is a leading crop in UP is because of the fine alluvial soil which is deposited by Ganga and its tributaries every year, together with improved irrigation facilities which is provided by canals, tube wells. Then children, the rainfall ranges between 50 to 100 centimeters during the rainy season. During winter, if you remember, in the chapter of climate you all had studied, Western UP, Punjab, Haryana, all of them receive rainfall from the western disturbance. Then, so children, these are the various reasons why UP leads in the production of wheat. So children, wheat is actually, as I told you, it uses up or it exhausts the soil. So it is very important that rotation of crops is followed. So generally, in order to, when crop rotation is followed, like for example, if in one season wheat is grown, in another season a leguminous plant can be grown, which would help in improving the fertility of the soil. Generally, the crops rotated with wheat are jowar and bajra.